Hey everyone, John Raitt back with another episode of Design and Invest. In this episode, we are going to be showing you the completed house, which I have behind me. This is my flip property in Encino, California. Also diving into the details and breakdown of the financials of the investment. Yeah, let me show you the inside. Check it out. Everybody, we're going to jump in now to the investment side of things. We ended up purchasing the property for $1,060,000. We put what we thought we were going to put only $120,000 into it. We ended up having to fire the contractor, and it just wasn't showing up. It was a ghost town, and we ended up putting in closer to $180,000 into the property, which is where it should have been at least. Some people could easily, for a house this size, people could easily spend $300 plus, you know what I mean? But this is what I do, so I was able to call in a lot of favors and get some really good deals. So $180,000 on the renovation side, purchased $1,060,000, and then we had 3.5 months it took to finish the property, which is pretty good. It could have been a little better, and next one I'm going to strive to push it a little harder. The sale, it's on sale right now for $1,699,000. And at that price, if we sell it, me and my partner will clear just over $400,000, which will be $200,000 each on this. Of course, we're gonna have to pay realtor fees and such, so probably just a hair under 200. We'll both take home for probably less than 6 months worth of work. On this particular property, we really lucked out because the purchase price is really where you make your money, and we purchased this right. It was right for the picking. There were no offers on the property, so we got pretty lucky on that side. I'm gonna jump in, talk about a couple design features, show you some befores, some afters, a video of the property that we took, and yeah. We are in the entry of the house. We put a 6-foot pivot door here, which is pretty amazing. It's an aluminum door, and then you can capture that view right when you walk outside. We did a home automation throughout, so we have the iPad that controls the entire home. We have the alarm system, the Nest thermostat, all Lutron switches, as well as the caseless cases for all of them. Here's the brain of the house, which is the server rack where everything goes back to. And we have full surround sound, 4 different zones of speakers, cameras throughout. We have all of the doors and the windows are all have sensors for the alarm, and it's completely tricked out. At this level of home, anytime you're over $1.5 million up here in the hills, you're gonna have to add features and things that just appeal to that buyer, and this is definitely appealing to that buyer. We on the AC side of things, we didn't get a new system. The system was fine. We did put in linear diffusers, which are gonna really add that sex appeal that people need. We added cool, really retro fixtures throughout. This space over here, as you walk in, this structure right here wasn't here. There was a little built-in in the front as you're walking in where we put the server rack, but this was just a bigger living room. It was a little too big, and I wanted to make a nice office over here, so we added this office in. Let me show you what we did. We framed it in, then we put double barn doors here. So the double barn doors gives you still the natural light coming in and the glare, the nice glow from the light. But also, when you keep it open, which 99% of the time people are going to keep this open, you still capture that view from sitting here in the living room. And then you have a view out to the pool, which is gorgeous. Let's walk up here. This bathroom here, this is actually a 3/4 bath that services this downstairs. It didn't need that much. We didn't redo the shower. All we did was reglaze the shower surround. We did new floors, new vanity, new toilet, and then we skimmed the walls on the entire property. So we skimmed them in here as well. Did some cool little floating shelves. And here, check it out. We did matte black finish throughout, and then in here we infused a little bit of brass as well, just to kind of pick up on that cool rustic vibe that we have going on. It complements it very nicely. We did 1 light doors for all of the bathroom and bedroom doors, and of course the 1 light door in the front pivot door. Let's go up to the bedrooms real quick. Now over here we have the first guest bedroom. We staged this one as kind of a kid's room, but not really. We put a teddy bear and we did, some, nice pastel type colors. We didn't want to, overwhelm it with like little kiddie beds and stuff like that, because it really could be used for anybody. So, but this one we did a custom closet. And on the closet doors, it's always smart to use doors that are not one light doors like the others, because people might think it's an entrance into a bathroom or this or that. But so just a panel door for the closets is the trick. This bedroom here has that really cool view. Also, we did a custom closet. A lot of people, they just do shelf and pull, closets, which is not going to be the biggest bang for the buck. Also, cheap mirrored doors. We use these cool custom fogged closet doors, which go a long way, and it picks up on the dark trim, the handles and such. And then on the inside, we did a cool little custom feature. It's actually not that much more to do, so it's a good idea to throw that in. Over here, all new windows, recessed lights throughout. Kept the color white. Usually I like bringing in a little bit of color. I'm doing that less and less now. I want to really make it as a blank canvas for the buyer as possible. You don't really want to be too specific on colors, because when you are, it causes people to have negative response to it. So just keep it nice and neutral. Don't overwhelm the space with colors, especially if it's a smaller room. You don't want to put dark colors and scare people off. So let's go check out the hall bath here. So this here is the hall bathroom that services these two upstairs bedrooms. What we did here for the shower surround, we use a really nice tile that looks like a real stone. It looks like a Porcelanosa type of tile. Porcelanosa is quite expensive. We did use it downstairs and in the master bath, but in here we just wanted the look. This design goes from tile to tile. And so what we did is we kept the joints really small as possible, so that way the grout doesn't really show too thick. We used the black Schluter trim on the edges, and all of the modern hardware, and as well as the towel bars and such. They go a really long way. And this stuff nowadays, you can get it for pretty cheap on Amazon. I think this whole towel bar set was like $70. Schluter trims, these are like $20 a piece, but they do go a long way, and the nice contrast between dark and light is really what we're going with in this house, so it shows really, really well. For the vanity, I bought a unit on Amazon that had a quartz top included, but the quartz top cracked when it came here. Instead of going through the hassle of trying to return it, this and that, I just had one of my buddies come and give me a live wood, live edge wood. And it came out really cool. Picked the top mount sink. This is all stuff that I had to do last minute, because we got around to installing this vanity at the very end. We didn't even check the inventory while I was sitting in the garage for months, And then so we had to make a quick decision. I ordered the sink and the vessel faucet, and it came like 2 days later on Amazon. So thank God for that. And then my buddy whipped up the countertop for me very quick, and bought this mirror. This was a last minute purchase at, I believe it was Cost Plus or World Market. I think it was Cost Plus. And the toilets, were existing in the house. They're nice soft close toilets, Totos, that were already here. So we just kept them. They were perfectly fine. I used this glass. I had this custom made. It's a thing I've been doing a lot lately, and it's actually kind of cool. It's just a Euro splash panel. So all it does, you get in here, access your valves, and then you close it, and then it covers just the splash from the valves and nothing else. So it keeps it nice and open. It's not, hard to take a bath. If you have a kid and you're giving him a bath, you don't have to like push the door open and then have to be all scrunched. You just open this up and you bathe your child. It's pretty cool for a lot of different reasons. Now let's go into the creme de la creme. Actually, first, before I do that, this is the hall closet. This linen closet was here, so all we did was we refaced it with the same veneered wood as we did downstairs for the kitchen cabinets. And it looks like it's a brand new unit, but all we did was reface it. The inside was fine. The wood looked kind of cool, so we just kept it. I didn't want to go too deep This is not the kind of house where you touch every single thing, otherwise it's gonna cost you $300,000-$400,000. So you gotta pick your battles and put the money where it adds the most value. So let's jump here into master. Master, to save space on the inside of the master closet and also the hallway staging space, we chose to use a barn door, which looks cool, and it gives you, it's better than, you know, old pocket doors that are ugly. This adds a cool flair to the space, and it picks up on the same doors as the entrance doors and the bathroom doors as well with the one light. So if you come in here, this is a really nice space. You'll see in the befores, this was a really awkward kind of island in the middle. There was a slider off there. It was just really awkward closet. Now we take advantage of all of that space. Come inside, we have, you have drawers in here, so you don't really need dresser. You don't need to put all your nightstands, and you know, so you could use all that here. Over here, I put some robe hooks too, which I like to add to closets because, you know, people like to hang their robes, or if you're hanging something real quick, get to it later type of deal. And put a little silly bench in the middle. All right, let's go in here. So the beautiful part that really had me sold on this master was the space. I mean, you have a sitting area here, you have your, you know, bed set here, you know, so it really reads nicely. The window that we had here originally was only about 4 feet, so we increased it to a 9-foot window to capture that view, and we also lowered it so you can see it from the bed when you're laying down. You can capture that view of the canyons and the valley there. And we chose to do an accent wall here, which I like choosing bed walls for the accent walls because it goes a long way. And then we added some nice nightstand night lights, you know, to the sides of the bed on their own switches. And it's really important when you're planning these and doing the electrical for these that you incorporate both Cal King and Eastern King bed size. So you want to go right, you know, Eastern Kings are wider, so choose the Eastern King when you're doing the planning for the lights, and make sure to come over a little bit as well, because you have to incorporate that a nightstand is going to be about 2 to 2.5 feet wide. So you want to find the center point of that, and the switch not too far past where the headboard is. So this one came out perfect. This sits right in the middle of the nightstand, and the switch is staggered a little over, so it's easier to reach, turn off. For the master bath, we also chose to do a barn door because this is somewhat of a narrow bathroom, and so we didn't want to take away from the staging space of that of out here or inside of the bathroom. So we did a nice barn door. Inside of here, this really came out beautiful. This came out a lot better than I had planned on. This shower was a tiny little shower over here, just a little 3-foot shower, and then there was an ugly old sunken tub over here. So we got away with that, did away with that, and just made one grand shower. And we used the Porcelanosa tile, which is a beautiful tile that sort of goes in with each other. You know, the Schluter trim, quartz, you know, topped off these little pony walls with quartz. And then we 45 miter cut the edges so that way it waterfalls in. And I like using solid pieces of stone for the thresholds because water intrusion and stuff, and like water just builds up and gets mildewy when you use tile in the joints and the grout joints and stuff. So choosing this is a sexy choice. We use a linear diffuser for the drain. We come inside of here actually. And then we have a floating bench. And then we did a hand shower wand right here on its own valve. So when you're shaving your legs or doing your little morning routine, you can access it there. We hid the other valve on this side. So when you come in, just to the right before you get into the shower and commit to a temperature, you can adjust it right here. And also the niche hides all of the shampoos and bottles and stuff like that. And then we have, this is a 2-way, so we got this one up here, and then we have the big old bad boy right here of a rain shower head on the same valve. So this came out very sexy. At the end of the bathroom, we have a makeup area with some really cool Edison bulbs. And again, planning out things like this goes a long way. You know, adding a, you know, hanging towel right here, and also right here. For the vanity, we use the same stance that was here before, and actually the mirror was in good shape, so we kept it. And then we added some vessel sinks, black, picked up on the matte black look. And then we added some cool accent lighting above it. Came out quite beautiful. And then here is the toilet room. The toilet room did not have a door on it, so we added a door to make it as private as possible. I didn't choose, when I did the new windows, I didn't choose to put obscured glass because this view is beautiful. If I'm taking a shower in here, if you can see me from down there, then, you know, congrats to you. You can have fun and watch me all day, but I want to take in that view. But I did, of course, put some custom blinds just in case somebody has a problem with those, with people watching them. All right, so we are now in the backyard. I'm going to talk about some elements of the backyard that we changed, other ones that we kept, and the reasons for doing so. Again, you always have to value and judge what's going to give you the most value, you know, biggest bang for your buck, because really you have to pick your battles with this. You know, this isn't new construction. Everything that you're putting here, you got to keep some stuff that's kind of ugly. Other stuff, you know, you gotta make it, you know, give it a purpose. So over here, this wall right here, we had those big ugly glass bricks before from the 70s, and you know, I needed to do it with that. I was just gonna put a wood fence here, but this is my flip and I wanted to do something fun and different. So what I chose to do is this really, you know, organic green wall, you know, with reclaimed wood. And I painted the wood so that way, you know, it matches all the black trim around the property. But I had a really cool friend of mine put this these nice succulents in here. So I planned that the whole time. I was gonna put fake succulents, but I decided at the end, like, look, it wouldn't really be a live wall if it wasn't real succulents. So it turned out great. I couldn't be happier. And over here, we put fake grass. This entire place over here it was just all concrete. And so this backyard had no grass. And I felt it was pretty important to add at least a little sliver of grass to this backyard. So we put some fake grass. You know, there's drains around, so you know the drainage won't affect anything. It'll all find its way out. So I wasn't concerned with packing the soil and doing weed stuff. And we had an ugly tree sort of blocking that corner, obstructing this beautiful oak tree that's over here. Let's go over here for a second. Look at this beautiful oak tree. I mean, this thing is gorgeous to have in your backyard. You know, and so we wanted to really showcase it. And so taking out this tree that was over here gave the awesomeness of this tree right here, the oak tree, you know, chance to show its light, as well as give us area here to use for, you know, an additional seating area, because it's a little tight around the pool here, so there's not much staging space to put loungers or what have you. So we put another sliver of fake grass over here, so it gives that nice, you know, organic feel, and then room for a lounger. This tree here, I can't for the life of me you know, throw away or get rid of money trees. I believe it is a money tree. It's a nice big one that was here originally. As there were a lot of other plants here originally, but I took out most of them. But I kept this one because I thought it was really cool to keep at least one thing from the old. And so I should probably water before I leave too. But it's a beautiful money tree that will continue to, you know, hopefully give some luck and fortune to the next owner. The pool was in great shape. Doesn't need to be replastered or retiled. I didn't even redo the coping or anything around the pool. It was in good shape. I just repainted the pool surround, gave it a new coating with some outdoor paint, just to give it some life. But if you see from this angle over here, this grass is really came out nicely. You know, for a home that doesn't have a backyard, I don't think too many people are going to complain about this not having a space to at least entertain. And if you have a dog, I mean, this grass is completely suitable for them doing their business on. You could just hose it down. I mean, or just the morning dew itself will drain down and be completely fine. let's talk about the kitchen a little bit. Now here in the kitchen, we chose to do thick mitered edge countertops throughout. So for the island, we waterfalled those. Normally, these countertops come, you know, what is it, like an inch and a half, and they're stacked. So you see the stack, like you see the seam from the lip that they create, which looks terrible. So what we do is we cut it at a 45 and then we stack it. And so, not stack it, we miter at the edge, so it creates a nice thick modern lip on it. And it's extra work, but it really is not that much more money to do, but it's a big impact for the property, for the kitchen. My custom cabinet guy did soft closed drawers for everything, a nice veneer. It's fake wood, but it looks really cool. We did floating shelves here in the corner. We did this beast of a fridge. I got a great deal on this. This was like $3,400 I think, with the trim kit. That looks like Sub-Zero, and it looks like it's, you know, one 6-foot fridge, but it's actually two, 3-foot. This is the fridge, and this is the freezer. So it's really great bang for your buck. If it's a real Sub-Zero, it's gonna cost, like 15, 20 grand. These things are so expensive. This was $3,400, so it gives a really good bang for your buck on this. And we took off it's a Frigidaire Professional. We took off the little badges. They're just stick-ons anyways, and so just kept that clean. It has the Pro handles, which the other appliances that we have here, if you look, are Jin Air. And the Jin Air also have the Pro handles, so nobody would ever think that these don't match each other. And so mixing brands is not necessarily a thing that I like to do, but in a scenario like this, you save a lot of money. I mean, that Jin Air fridge, first of all, I don't even know if they make a 6-foot fridge, but I do know that they make a 48-inch one. I have one at my house, but that's like a $12,000 fridge, so that wasn't really in the budget for this house. We used black undermount sink. Use black, faucets and trim throughout, handles, the Schluter again here. This is a Porcelanosa tile. We mixed up the lowers and the uppers. I like playing with this sometimes, so we used a white thermofoil for the uppers, and then we used the gray veneer for the lowers. And then anywhere where there's a tower that, floor to ceiling, we used that same, we carried through the same base ones, which is the veneer cabinets. Here is the pantry. We use the cool drawers here. Nice deep space for the upper. Here's a microwave, and here's the oven, and then more space on top. Over here on the island, I like to cook, so I think it's cool to, when I design the kitchen, I like doing 2 spice racks. So my wife is Filipina, so in our house we have a lot of big jugs of fish sauce and oils and all of these things. So this is the big fish sauce, basically jugs of olive oils or what have you, on this side, a spice rack. And then on this side is the smaller spice rack. So, it's really convenient when you're cooking. You're in here, you're in there. Then we did a deep pot drawer for all your pots and pans. And then over here is the, garbage and recycling. And so when you're chopping up and you're working here, you just dump it in there. Really convenient to put that in the island. I love putting these in islands if I have them, or peninsulas if I'm designing it with a peninsula. We use the linear diffusers throughout the house. And in the kitchen, it looks really cool too. At the end of the kitchen, you have it in the soffit built in. In this room here, this is the room just off of the kitchen. A lot of people would maybe put a dining room here or what have you. There was a really weird bar structure over here before that was just killing the entire space of this room. And the window wasn't here. We added a window, so it brought in some nice natural light. The door was here, so we kept that. It was a good shaped door, solid wood. The fireplace itself was like half the size. It had a tower that ran up the entire left side of it. So I chose to do a little built-in. We wired it so you put all your HDMI and stuff in that cabinet, and we put nice ledger stone, increased the stance of the entire fireplace and the hearth itself, and put some nice quartz slab right there. And we kept the original box that was here. Had a linear diffuser for the gas line, so we just kept that. We didn't put a new one. If you put a new one, you have to obey all these new codes and regulations and stuff. And so I didn't want to open up that can of worms. This was completely fine, and nobody really uses fireplaces here in LA. So it is wood burning and gas, but I don't really anticipate anybody be using real wood. So we just kept the gas line in there. We wired all the televisions to the security system, so that way this feed, the HDMI 1, shows the cameras around the property. And I thought that would also be a good sales feature to have on display when people are walking the property, and so they know that the cameras around the property, maybe they missed them on the way in or out, but now they won't miss them because they see what they're looking at. Okay, so let's go down to the garage real quick. I'll show you the garage. Usually a lot of people, they don't touch garages. And so I didn't do much in there, but what I did was very impactful. Now here we're going into the garage. We also put an alarm down here. So when you're coming into the house, you can disarm it or arm it as you leave. And so that one of them is here and one of them is up next to the front door. So let's go into the garage. So the garage here, a lot of people don't finish garages. They leave them, exposed studs and beams, and so I find it's that extra room that if you don't have it in your house, it's a great value add. If I had a really small house here, I would stage this garage as like a game room, put a pool table, or stage it as a sort of office space or just a little flex space. This garage, is definitely going to be used. Because it's a nicer neighborhood where the person who buys this is probably gonna have a nice car they want to put in the garage. So I just slapped the epoxy on, and it's definitely a lot better than just leaving it concrete. And it's easy to mop up if you have some oil or what have you. We skimmed the walls on the drywall portions. Not skimmed them, but we put some nice orange peel on it, so it looks very clean, no holes and stuff like that. This was brick, so we just painted the brick. I built a housing around the water heater, just so you don't see it. It's not ugly, it's not in your face. It's out of the way. We put a new light fixture, in the top, LED, and then we put a charging station. So up here in Southern California, everybody has an electric car. A lot of people do, or plug-in hybrids. We do a lot of commuting out here, and my wife has a Tesla, so charging station is a must. Also, this buyer pool really appreciates at least having the wiring for it. So if you're doing a home out here, at least run the 220 with a dedicated 30 amp breaker in the garage. This one I just sprung and got a charging station because they're really not much anymore. I think this was like $300, so it's a good deal and it's a good value add for this. You can advertise it as you have a charging station in the garage. This house has solar pool heater on the roof, all the smart home systems. So it has a really cool tech angle to it. Also, we put a new garage door that's also hooked up to our smart home. So when you're coming close to the house, it'll just automatically open. You don't even need to push a button. If it recognizes you within 15 feet or something like that, 20 feet, it'll just automatically open. And then, so this one has a side motor. We had an issue, I was a little scared of this property because this header here, this beam, is pretty low, okay? And when I bought the property, the motor was hung off of it, so it was even lower. So we had the old school motors down here, and I'm like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? I had my garage door guy come out, and we went back and forth, and we devised the system. We put the motor on the side, which is the new motors, which I love, and then we put the door so it comes up here. It kisses the top of the ceiling of the garage. So you can fit damn near any SUV in here now, no problem. So that one we dodged a bullet on. But yeah, those old school motors, you don't really have a choice if you want a motor. And so really this wasn't a usable garage I doubt the previous owner even parked their car in here unless they had a small car. So, and on the garage door itself, the one that we picked was just a flat panel. I had it painted the same color as the trim of the front of the house, and I thought that really added a nice modern element to it. The facade of the house, we did smooth stucco and black trim, white smooth stucco, black trim, and the rest of the house we just painted white with the stucco. We patched any areas that had imperfections and just painted it white. to freshen everything up. Over here, when we come inside, the first thing to the left is the laundry room. And in here, in the laundry room, we had a wall right here. This was all walled in with a door. It was really closed off and not very sexy at all. And so we opened it up, added a nice new vanity, not vanity, but a new sink here. And then some floating shelves. Side-by-side washer and dryer. We did a little hanging rack there for your clothes. Some uppers on this side. It is a little tight, but it is functional, and I don't think anybody's gonna be complaining about this space. Guys, now we're gonna show you the video for marketing purposes that we created for the property. And remember, design, invest, and repeat.